one-handing speaking. That is what is recorded in the history. The whole year the Kawaka just met one bearded, smelly white man. I mean, speaking in the shower, he was coming all the way from the coast. The only thing we knew yesterday, the whole Kabaka of Uganda, was that he met this one lonely, lost wife. How is that possible? How is it possible? Then they teach us in primary school. Stanley passed Karagwe, he met Manika, he went to Mbarara, he's a slave. He was like 15. But because my life was the Bible and the survival of our people depended on it, I had to back up. I had to go into genetics, I had to go into mathematics to try and understand it. Not only understand it, understand it so that they can explain it to someone. When I understand it going under the table, I want to stand top. When I'm ready to go, I'm not going to leave no stone unturned and turn every stone twice.
Your ancestors in the world that you created were able, with very little knowledge, they didn't know the European, they didn't study the living nature. Shakespeare did not know about Ra. Yeah, Sandra did not go to school to learn philosophy, to learn military strategy, to learn whatever. Yet in most of the time, they outfought, outgeneraled, outfronted some of the best military genius that Europe had ever possessed. Do that at the time. If they were able to do that at the time, what about you? Who's got a phone? Who's got a fax? You don't only have a phone, you have a fax and a mobile phone.
Every 5 seconds, a child is dying of malaria in Africa. Now, to get the dose of life-saving anti-malaria is about $5. But there is no government to give anti-malaria. When somebody gets malaria, if they have no money, they get ill and die. So the question that I was asking and many people were asking was, if you really want to help children, why begin with a disease that they don't have? Why not go Why not look for something that is killing them? This is Oxford, Cambridge, where you go to get this degree, where you get the first degree, which is a BA, bachelor's degree. You know, they don't believe in marriage. So they don't, you know, the only thing they can give you is a bachelor's degree. You know? Because you can stumble on a conference like this and get shocked when a few ideas are thrown in your head. I don't believe what Nana Sekmet said. I don't believe that kind of stuff. It's okay. You know, they teach you how to critique, not to believe anything. You know, when they say, they say, what do you think about black people building their own institutions? You say, well, it has its own advantages and disadvantages. The high culture of Egyptian civilization that starts around the Nile Valley eventually ends up here in the Giza Plateau, in the pyramids of Giza, one of the highest high technical civilizations that African people put together, starting all the way from Uganda, covering present-day Sudan, and going up here in Egypt. established that more than 7 million years ago, a black woman stretched forth her hands under God and gave us the first human being. In the beginning was a black woman. This black woman lived at the foothills of the mountains of the moon. This black woman lived in the Iracrostan region, known in ancient time as the land of the gods. This black woman lived at the source of the Nile. This black woman lived between the two domes of the Great Rift Valley. This black woman's genes run through the genes of every human being. This black woman's DNA is the string that connects every person that walks on earth. That is why we say that let him that is worthy be worthy still, and let him that is righteous be righteous still. So behold, I come quickly. My reward is with me to give unto every man and woman for and according to his reward should be. For in the beginning was a black woman. This woman gave rise to a human. Never was a time when a black woman was not. Never will be time when black people will cease to be. Because we are eternal, my brothers and sisters. Once in a while, we shall be, as we promised, diving on the side to talk to you about health and nutrition. And our preferred day is the last 2 days of the week, like Thursday and Friday. So TV Africa believes that for you to be able to take charge of your own destiny, to control what comes in your way, to control the politics in your community, to control the social processes that govern your society, and also that govern your family, you must also know how to eat to live. How to eat to live. I have written a book which is coming up for publication soon, and that book is called A Guide to Early Death. If you want to die quickly through diet, what is it you are supposed to eat? And I need to say to you that when I started this revolution about 1999, the whole world, the rest of the non-African world already knew what to eat. And it was, there were current discourses, going on in Europe and in the Americas and in the Caribbean as what you're supposed to eat. But in Africa, we were green. In Africa, we abandoned our health-giving natural diet for a death-giving and a death-consuming and a death-inviting, diet that has come to us, courtesy of the Anglo-American Empire or the Anglo-Americans or the Europeans. The European diet is a death diet. There is no doubt about that. If you eat like white people prepare food in a hotel, you are destined to another grave and never to enjoy the time you save. There is no doubt about that. I need to repeat. If you eat the diet that is given to you in a hotel, a diet that is given to you in seminars, a diet cocktail that is given to you when the ambassador hosts a dinner, then you are definitely destined for an early grave. You are speeding to another grave, never to enjoy the time you save. There is no question about that. But to come back to the history, 1999, I start teaching at Great Africa Radio. And I'm talking about diet. And I am telling people, do not drink sugar, processed sugar. If you are to take sugar from bananas. And I'm saying them, do not drink cow milk. If you are to drink milk, drink soya milk. And I am telling them, do not eat cow beef or cow meat. If you are to eat meat, you can eat soya meat because you can get meat from soya. And I'm saying one of the only white meat that you can eat is meat from fish. Although, in moderation. And I am telling them, do not use cooking oil whatsoever.
If you must use cooking oil, then look for the type of cooking oil that your body can deal with. Look for olive oil, but avoid cooking all that oil at very high temperatures. And I'm coming with almost all the things about to drink water, 5 liters of water every day. And the whole medical establishment, the doctors and the committees of parliament, and there were exchanges between the Attorney General and the office of the President, and there were exchanges between the Parliament of Uganda, sitting down to debate my lectures on radio about how to make you live longer. And they were talking about how I am really misleading people. I am telling them what they are not going against conventional wisdom, because they are telling you to eat eggs in the morning and to fry your food. And I remember there was one doctor who wrote in a newspaper and said, for me, I am even late now. Let me go to take my steak. Well, you are staking death when you take that. You are on a high road to destruction in health terms. 10 years over, things have changed. Now the physicians and the doctors that talk about what I was talking about in 1999 and what I taught them, there is no doubt that every medical doctor talking about don't drink milk, don't eat chicken, don't stay away from all these things, learnt them from me. Even those who are opposing me in Kampala, they would sit and listen on the radio. Some wise one would take notes, and some of them moved completely, like Dr. Sally. They moved completely from what they were practicing to what Kiurankuba was teaching. But they didn't come out to say, oh, we learned from Kiurankuba that this happens. But that's not important. If you don't want to credit your teacher who has taught you how to live, that's all right. Because the important thing is that at least our people get health information. At least our people get health information and they can live. Because this has never been a popularity context. Has never been a popularity context. So, if you really want to get the knowledge from the source, that knowledge is on TV Africa. I am contracted to be on TV Africa for 5 years. Between that period of time, I intend to make you the healthiest, the wealthiest, and the most advanced mentally, the most advanced individual on earth. I will tell you things that threaten your existence, not in terms of what you eat, but in terms of how you live, in terms of your environment, in terms of your politics, and all the other issues that affect your existence for the next 5 years, and learn from me. Because I always talk about how long I'm going to be in a certain position, and after that position, I disappear. When I was in Imbarara, I told people that I was going to teach for only 2.5 years. And people thought, no way, he's not going anywhere. He is very popular. He has got massive audience. Buses line up on the side of the road to listen to this man. How can he disappear? 2.5 years, I went. When I came to Kampala and I went on radio, I said to people in Kampala, I am going to teach on radio for 2 years. Again, people didn't believe it. They said, no, he has invested a lot of money in radio. He's going to be here for a while. 2 years, I am gone. Finished. I'm not there. Now I am telling you today on this program, I intend to be on TV Africa for 5 years. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7 months. 5 years and 7 months. I am out of TV Africa, and I will not be teaching anywhere in Uganda after that time. So take your notes, open your ears, extend them, make them look like a dish. Because that's what I am telling you here is life-giving. I am going to tell you information, knowledge that will make you live longer. we have already gone through some of the principles of nutrition. The first one I talked about was the bitter the better. The second one, I said to you, there is nothing white that is right. Think of it like this. Most of the diet that we have today in schools, in hospitals, in universities, everywhere, this is a diet that has been imposed on us by the colonizer, by imperialists, by Anglo-American Empire, people who really worship Satan and worship Lucifer himself, Luciferian, people who are talking about a new world order. They are not worshiping God. No, they are worshiping Lucifer. They are not interested in your existence. That is why they are telling you about yogurt and how wonderful it is. They want you to have mayonnaise every time you eat something. They want to have an egg. And the egg, they want you to have it rare. Most of that food, they want you to have a celebration, what they call a birthday. They want the child to have a birthday, even when the child has not given birth. A birthday should be to somebody who has conceived and then brought a child into the earth. That is a birthday. But if you have not given birth, how can you have a birthday? You have not given birth. Maybe you have an earth day, maybe you have a heaven's day, but you cannot have a birthday. Birthday is for mothers who have gone through the pains, who have fed a child, and then they are celebrating the existence of that child. That is the birthday. But let me tell you this. Most of the diet that we have today, most of the food that you eat today is not food that is supposed to nourish your body. And my duty is to say to you, throw away all these things. Throw them away. If it is wrapped in a packet, it is not good to eat. If it is packed in a tin, it is not good to eat. If it has egg in it or dairy products, it is not good to eat. If it has chicken in it, it is not good to eat. If it has been, if they have added additives and preservatives and stabilizers, it is absolutely not good to eat. For example, a juice like Ceres or a juice like Splash, the pulp content in that juice, the juice content or the fruit content in that juice is only 15%. The rest is sugar. It is not good to drink. The best juice that you are supposed to drink is juice that you get from a fruit. Put it in a blender and blend it. Put it in a mortar and crush it. Put it in your hand and squeeze it. And no, don't add any sugar. That is the juice that you are supposed to have. Get a sugarcane crusher and make your own sugarcane juice. Get a mango crusher and make your own mango juice. Get a pineapple crusher and make your own pineapple juice. And if you have any illness, affecting you, if you have pain in your back and pain in your chain and pain in your chest, if you have pain in your legs and pain in your arms, one of the things you need to do is begin by reducing the amount of food you eat. First, cut away everything that is animal product. Throw away the beef. Do not eat beef. I don't care whether it is roasted. Throw away cow meat and horse meat and frog meat. Some of you even eat pork. Now, if you eat pork, you need to turn off your TV because this lecture is not meant for you who eat pork. A swine eater is not even supposed to listen to me. My job is not to save people who eat swine. A pig is a filthy beast. It is half cat. It is half rat. The rest is dog. Why should I waste my time teaching a man who eats a beast that is swine? And even you Christians, when they say that Jesus threw away the demons into the pigs, and then the pigs, of course, ran away. However, historians say that between the distance where he's supposed to have thrown the demons and the lake, that there were over 5 kilometers. Now, how could the pigs have run all those 5 kilometers to go in the lake, and who was looking at them? But that is another story. But if you eat pig or pork, if you are a swine eater, do not listen to me. I'm talking to those people who are trapped in beef. I'm talking to those people who eat chitlins, or entrails. I suppose you call them a katogo and a bienda. Those you are not supposed to eat at all. Imagine all these entrails have got obsa. They've got even the residues, the waste of the animal inside them. And this is what you wash. And they cook for you, and this is what you eat. You are literally eating cow dung when you are eating those entrails. You are not. So what you can do now is just reduce the beef, just reduce the sugar, just reduce the fried oil and the eggs, and then begin reducing the amount of food you eat. And then for a week or two, just eat raw food. Raw food, completely raw. Cut it and eat it raw. After 2 weeks, then do a juice diet where you're just living on juice for a month. And I'm telling you, your illness will escape. I'm talking to you about healing yourself, so you don't need insurance. I'm talking to you about healing yourself, so you don't have to go to a physician. You don't have to go to a hospital. You don't have to go to a hospital, because even now when you go to a hospital, they tell you, give up chicken, give up beef, don't drink cow milk. Don't you think that by that time it is too late? Rather you listen to me, and you listen good, because when you do, you are not going to get sick at all. No, you are going to live longer. You are going to have so much energy. Your body cells are going to replicate themselves. Your mind is going to expand. The mind has about 92 billion brain cells. You and I use about 15% of our brain power. When we eat food, we use less percentage of our brain power, because every time you put food in your mouth, your nervous system tells your brain to produce juices to break the food down. And it is supposed to send a specific message. Here comes calcium. Here comes potassium. Here comes magnesium. Break this. Now, when you get all the food and combine it together, like you eat a sandwich you have bread. On bread you have blue band, which is the worst thing you can eat. One of the ingredients of that blue band is body lice, which is lice in your head. Worst thing. Blue band. Then on top of that they might put pork. On top of pork, a tomato. When it sits inside you, your body says, I don't know what this is. I'm not going to digest it. What have you put? That is why when you eat a sandwich, your stomach remains full for days. Oh yes, it remains full for days. But if you eat fruit, a fruit salad on a plate, straight away you want to go to the bath, to the toilet. Now, I have always told you that when you eat at night, leave sufficient time, like 3 hours, between when you eat and when you go to sleep. Do not eat and immediately go to sleep, because every time you sleep, when you go to sleep, your digestive system also goes to sleep. When you wake up in the morning, the reason you are running to the bathroom is because the digestive system also wakes up. So you are supposed to allow sufficient time between when you wake up and when you eat your first meal. Actually, you are not supposed to eat breakfast, because breakfast means breaking the fast of the previous night. So you are supposed to allow a period between when you wake up and when you eat your first meal. When you wake up in the morning, you are supposed to drink water. The body dehydrates. The number one cause of death all over the world is mainly dehydration, when your cells do not get enough oxygen and do not get enough fluid. So you are supposed to drink 5 liters of water. When you wake up in the morning, drink water. When you sit, drink water. Carry a bottle of water with you all the time. Boil your water if you can't afford bottled water. Actually, mineral water is not mineral water at all. Most of this mineral water comes from boreholes. So you are supposed to allow sufficient time between when you wake up and when you eat your first meal. You are supposed to carry water with you. The best water is spring water. The best water is water that you have cooked in a clay pot, because the clay pot has got the minerals that it puts in the water. That's where you get minerals from. Minerals come from the soil. Most of the nutrients that go in the fruit comes from the soil. So stay away from non-water. Do not drink juice from packets. Do not drink juice from tins. Do not drink quencher. Quencher is supposed to quench your thirst. You are supposed to have so much thirst that lasts hours. So where have you got that thirst from? To quench the thirst. You have got the thirst from the sugar that you are eating, that the body is not just digesting. Remember, it is not just the sugar that you stir in your cup. No, most of the additives and preservatives, they put sugar. That sugar is so much sugar. For example, one of the sugars that they put is aspartame. Aspartame and yellow color. Aspartame is carcinogenic. Aspartame causes heart failure. Aspartame is the worst thing that you can put in food. But aspartame and yellow color is what is put in food. Most of you spend your time drinking sodas, Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola, all these colas. These colas are so toxic and so dangerous. These colas are not supposed to be drunk. There is almost 3,000 chemicals in one bottle of Coca-Cola, which incidentally was made from a corruption of cocaine and cola nut. Cocaine is a hallucinogenic drug. It is supposed to make you want more. That is what additives do. They make you want more of the same thing. And cola is one of the most nutritious. Cola nut was equated to money. Actually, at one time in West Africa, cola nut was used as money. One time in West Africa, cola nut was used to settle bride wealth. So Pembroke, the man who started Coca-Cola, stole a recipe from a Ghanaian woman called Afua, who was a slave woman, and started making Coca-Cola. When they started making Coca-Cola in the beginning, they peddled it as a health drink, although it was not a health drink. And most of the people who were selling a Coca-Cola were selling it as though it is a health drink. We still see it today in products like Diet Coke, like Ginger Coke. You think because there is ginger, it is good. You think because it is a Diet Coca-Cola, it is good. Oh no, it is not. It is one of the most lethal. In fact, the pH value, the acidic content of Coca-Cola is higher than that of a car battery. You are better off drinking acid than drinking a bottle of Coca-Cola. Yet every time you hear weddings and you see all sorts of things that happen, every time we see weddings, we see people drinking Coca-Cola. Every time we see functions, we see people drinking all these sodas, the Sprites, the Mirinda, all those products. Those are products that are supposed to deplete your health, to reduce it, to reduce your longevity. We are searching everywhere for solutions of what to eat. Yet it started all right here in Africa. In Africa is where people knew precisely what to eat. Why not drink obshela, made out of sorghum or made out of millet, sitting very high on the nutritional table? Because the third law of nutrition is the law of signature. That when you eat something that looks like a part of your body, it is going to nourish that part of your body that it looks like. So if you drink obshela, it looks like blood. If you eat a booger, it looks like blood. It is going to replenish most of the cells in your body. Sorghum is one of the most nutritious. Millet is one of the most nutritious. And then they put a sweetener. That sweetener is fermented. It has got streptococci, which is what they used to make penicillin. So it is even offering you protection against infection. Instead of clogging your body with all these chemicals that they tell you are supposed to immunize you, this time you are given something that is natural in form of obshela, in form of sorghum, in form of millet. Millet is grown all over Africa. In West Africa, they grow millet. In Burkina Faso, they grow millet. Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Conakry, Guinea-Bissau, Serekunda markets in Gambia, Banjul in Gambia, in Dakar, Senegal. Among the Dogons of Mali, some of the most scientific people that live on earth, they have, they grow millet. They grow millet in South America. Among us, the black people in South America, in Mexico, they have millet too. They call it couscous. They don't grind it, no. They prepare it as a grain. They put it in the water. They boil it and eat it. And couscous of millet that has just started to ripen is also one of the most beautiful things that you can eat. Brothers and sisters, I present to you your own diet. I present to you a nourishing diet. I present to you diet from the soil. This principle that you should look out for when you are looking for what to eat, when you are deciding what to choose. The most important question is it from the soil? Has it come from the soil to my plate and to my mouth? If it has passed elsewhere, other than the soil to plate to your mouth, or the soil to saucepan to your mouth, if it has been processed, then you know there is something wrong. Then you know there is something wrong. Make sure that it is from the soil. Make sure that that soil does not have Monsanto's organophosphate and organochloride. Make sure that the product you are eating is not genetically modified. I know there are people. Monsanto has been penetrating our ministries of agriculture. Monsanto has been swinging like this everywhere, funding research so that they can introduce their death products. Monsanto has death products. Monsanto is an evil organization. Monsanto is a dangerous, wicked organization. You might not know what Monsanto is. Monsanto is an organization that has been around for a long time. Monsanto is an organization that is linked to the military establishment. Most of the products that it was making was for the military. It was Monsanto that made Agent Orange. Agent Orange was used to devastate areas of Vietnam and Laos and Cambodia. Millions of people killed. Thousands of villages annihilated. Forests wiped away by Agent Orange. And that Agent Orange, Monsanto has repackaged it now, and it is using it as 2,4-D. It is using it as ambush. The most lethal products ever made to man. Monsanto is engineering foods. It is getting viruses and putting them into cells. It is getting bacteria and viruses and using them to do cell invasions. And when the cells naturally reject the viruses and the bacteria, then it has a promoter gene, which is also an E. coli bacteria. So that when you see a maize, when you see groundnuts, when you see soybean, it is not good soybean. It is not natural soybean. No, it is just pathogens of lethal viruses and pathogens and bacteria and viruses and E. coli. Everything you can think of is your worst nightmare. If there is any organization you should be afraid of, it is Monsanto. If there is any organization that you should be crying and praying against, it is Monsanto. If there is something you should be seeking to remove from your food, it is the organophosphate and organochloride. It is ambush and 2,4-D, which people now, farmers, are using to spread their fields. They are not preparing fields anymore. They are spraying with some of these lethal chemicals that are supposed to last 14 million years in the soil. And all that time, they percolate the soils, and they go into the nutrients that are supposed to go in the plant. You eat a cabbage, you think you are eating a good cabbage. No. Actually, watermelons now, I think you should stay away from them. Because most of these watermelons, most of these cabbages, they have most of these tomatoes. If you are to eat tomatoes, grow your own tomatoes. Because most of these tomatoes are tomatoes that are grown with Monsanto's pesticides. Some of the most lethal pesticides. I am here to tell you today that look at the poorest woman in the village. What she ate and how she ate it. If she ate meat, she ate it once in a year, towards Christmas. If she drank milk, maybe it is when somebody came, an in-law, and brought just 1 liter. But for the most part, she ate dodo. And she cooked dodo on its own, and she ate it with potatoes. If she ate a tomato, she ate a tomato. She boiled the tomato on its own, and she ate it like that. When she ate corn, she didn't eat anything else. The poorest person in the village lives longer. The poorest person in the village has a total eyesight. The poorest person in the village has a full dental formula. The poorest person in the village does not go to hospital. Why? Because the poorest person in the village eats a wonderful diet. And that is what I want you to do. That is why I'm telling you. Remember the principles I'm taking you through. I have already told you the bitter the better. There's nothing white that is right. And remember the law of signature. I have already told you nothing white that is right. Remember the law of signature. And the bitter the better. Look for color in the food that you eat. And look for food that has no chemicals in it. Look for food that has not been processed. And stay away from all that bread that has been decorated with colors and they call it a birthday cake. Only then will you survive and live longer so that you don't speed to another grave, never to enjoy the time you save.